biggest surprise from round one, whether that be biggest surprise in the sense of how a series went. Not so much the winner, but how it went.
Now, I was giving the Suns a gentleman's sweep. The fact y'all couldn't get one game was a surprise to me. Now, it might not be to others, but for me, that they couldn't get one game, just one, was a surprise.
Bill had 9 in that closeout game.
Man.
Tough.
Biggest shock, Anthony Edwards scored over 20 points. Only reason why I had the Suns going to where I got them. But now I think I have the Wolves. If I had to give an honest critique now, they could go all the way if they beat the Nuggets. But
hey, well, save the Ant combo though. We're coming back to that.
Hey now.
We're coming back. I
want to give myself too much credit.
No, take the credit.
I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it till it's a segment.
Okay.
But he scored over 26 points per game in that series.
That he did.
I don't know how much he did, but it was over 26 against the Phoenix Suns. Congratulations to him. Very shocked. It's 25.9 on the season. Good for him.
Let that hurt go.
Yeah. 1,000. That's taxes. That's what IRS got me for. Hashtag support Miguel. Create a GoFundMe. Our biggest fan created a GoFundMe. They're trying to get me. They're trying to get me for tax money. Help me before I become Wesley Snipes.
Hey, man. Anyway. Hey, dog. Hey, I'm not. Hey, man. Go. No, I agree. I didn't expect a sweep by Phoenix. I don't think anything else really surprised me. I'm a little bit surprised the Pelicans got swept. No Zion, yes, but I'm a bit surprised that was a sweep. I would have thought maybe a gentleman's sweep too, but the Pelicans also choked away for sure a game. For sure, at least one game they choked away. But that might have been the only other really surprising thing. But most of the series kind of went the way they did. The only thing that really pisses me off about the Milwaukee Indiana series is us winning game 3 changes everything. Even if Dame
did I say at the last podcast that we wasted his best, his entire best game?
It wasn't on pod, but you did say that. But
can I give him my flower? Can I give him his flowers?
Yes, Miguel.
I won't say the part that I said before about Bean and how this man might be the greatest mid-range contested shot maker that has ever lived. No hyperbole. James Christopher Middleton. Put his I can't say it. No, don't look at me like that. It's a different phrase. Put his life on the line for the team.
Okay.
Did everything he could. Hit 2 impossible shots that no mere mortal should ever hit. I am appalled that we threw that game away. If we win game 3, it's our series. It's a wrap. All the wind is sucked out and they lost at home. That would have been it. It's a wrap. But we had to go and do a choke job to 42, 10, and 5 and 2 shots dropped by Jesus Christ himself. Are we serious? We can't score when this man just said here. Here's one off the glass too. We can't get a stop after that. Better yet, come on.
Offensive rebound. Better
we
yet.
Let Aaron
defensive
Nemhard go for like 6 boards.
Yeah, that killed it.
That was the worst display of rebounding I think I've ever seen by tall people in my life.
Crying.
Like, what are you good for? Like, we're sitting here just crawling over the floor like a little miner, like a little gremlin. I mean, like miners and excavators and a digger. Like, it's not a miner, not what we heard before, but it was incredible. I've never seen such a poor display of rebounding. Shouts out James Christopher Middleton for what he gave us. And I'm sorry that we wasted it. And everyone should be apologizing to him right now for any slander that they said in past talks about he's not him. I need everything revoked. I need you're not certified. If you pop in Milwaukee, you need to check in as a certified Chris lover. If not, to the back.
Hey man.
You're done. All right, get in.
Look, all I was saying
Sorry.
was if the Bucks won game 3, I feel like my prophecy of Bucks in 7 would have became true. Because I don't think we would have lost another home game. But nonetheless, Pacers won. Respect to them. You know, so
Salute.
shouts out.
To Milwaukee's light skin coalition, Wisconsin's light skin coalition. It's him and it's Tyler Hero.
Anyway.
What?
James Johnson. James, yeah. Yep. James, yeah.
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole as well.
Anyway, Miguel, what was the best series of the first round?
It was not Orlando Cavs. I don't care that it went 7.
No, that wasn't the best series. But I did say it was gonna go 7. I did say Cavs Orlando could go 7.
I think Knicks Philly had the best series, and then
agreed.
Bucks Pacers had the best game.
Game 3.
The Lord himself stepped on that floor, put himself in his body, and said, "Here, let me take these 2 for you."
I don't know.
Oh my God.
A lot of them Knicks Phillies game, a lot of those New York Philly games were, all of those games were good. Every single game was.
No, I'm saying that's the best series by far. I'm saying best game was
best game, just game in general. I could go with that game 3. Yeah, because that was it OT or double OT?
OT should have been double.
Should have been double OT. Yeah.
2 beautiful shots by a beautiful man.
All right. Anyway, no, let's just move on because I don't know where you are taking this discourse whatsoever.
He's an amazing player. Just, saying my daily grace.
Can y'all give me 3 players that were the most impressive in round 1?
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
I like that 3. I like that 3 a lot.
Yep. And that's in order for me too, honestly.
Fair. Very fair. Very fair.
For me, because I never knew he could score that much against Phoenix. I saw him score 14 against them the game before he went into the playoffs. I didn't think he had.
That is true. That is true.
They had a terrible record against. They did not beat him.
He was just coasting those last game of the season.
Yeah,
chilling.
He knew there were some old ass niggas, and then he, did his thing.
Well, no. So with those 3 players, though, Brunson had already started getting the respect throughout the regular season, but his performance in that series, I mean, come August, October, and people start doing them top 10 players in the league list, he gonna have to be in there.
Hold on. We're gonna take a time travel back to an old pod in the summer, post Olympic basketball, and I was like, "Is he a top 5 guard?" And I remember it was like, the discourse is too early.
It was too early at the time.
Yeah.
He went perfect in the Olympic trials game. He went 11 for 11. I was like, this is a great display of guardship. I'd like to stand. You said, nay, brother, nay.
The consistency. Yes. Nay, brother.
Nay, you shan't praise this man with your early conclusions. But dog, I've seen something that I had never seen done before with the FIBA basketball. And I concurred that Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson were something special. And here we are, and I proclaim.
He did try to banish you, huh?
They looked at me like, whoa, no. Not better than De'Aaron Fox.
Miguel.
At the time, that's fair.
At the time. Miguel, I will give you the credit for being on the bus early. I will give you the credit.
I'm sitting there like
the bus saying, hey, y'all should get on this bus right now.
Sitting there like Marquise Mays at a birthday dinner. Shouts out Marquise Mays, filmmaker in Milwaukee. I'm feeling like Charles Barkley this episode. Shouts out filmmaker, Riverside, whatever they say to the other side, I'll represent for this one. But always early to a function.
Just like Bobcats. I feel like it should be Riverside Bobcats.
You're very close. It's Riverside Tigers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That very close guess. You couldn't guess what a Rufus King is.
No, I'm sure you can't guess it.
Rufus King. Hold on.
This is
Mole
being
rats.
wow.
Rufus the mole rat.
Shouts out to the Rufus King mole rats. We gotta hit him up about
What is it?
Rufus King Generals.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I kind of like mole rats.
Oh,
Yeah, way better mascot, less scary.
Okay. Anyway, Gail, to your point, yes, you were on the bandwagon early. I will give you credit for that. But last summer, even after FIBA, it was early because up to that point, Brunson nor Ant they hadn't taken that leap in the NBA within a season. It just hadn't happened yet. I
So
don't think
until it happens on American soil, it's not
no,
validated.
that's not what I'm saying.
Gail,
All
for
right, that sounds a
82
little xenophobic,
games.
Steve. I don't know.
NBA season.
For an
I've talked to the
NBA
people about
season.
that one. Anything that doesn't happen on foreign land ain't valid. So we got
Sometimes
Joker and
no.
Luca coming out of nowhere.
You know, international.
International ball is different, but
I feel like Noah Lyles. Who's the world
Oh.
champion?
You got to make the face when you say it too.
What was the face? What's the face?
They're not world champions. The NBA isn't the world.
Tell him.
Oh man.
Ooh.
But I say all this to say, disregarding Miguel's trolling, they were like on the brink superstars coming into the season. Like people wanted to know, okay, this is what it looks like you all can do. Will that happen throughout the 82 game season? And can y'all lead y'all teams deep into the postseason? And so far, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So you were a season early, Gil, and that's perfectly fine. But stop making it seem like it was a given that this was going to happen. It was not.
I need NBA scouts to hit me up. I got a new job in line. I'm looking at all. Look at my resume. Check the pod. Don't look at any of the playoff predictions. Don't look at any of the
I'm hollering.
the top tens. Don't look at any of the race war content. Disregard everything else. Don't look at anything I said about James Young from Kentucky either. Other than that, pretty on par.
But no, yes, those two have been the most impressive. And the fact that both of them might potentially be leading their team to the conference finals is because with Minnesota still in that first game.
Jaden McDaniels, Jaden McDaniels asterisks.
Yes.
This playoffs has solidified for me why Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year. I know it's early, but the perimeter defense that I've seen from Rudy thus far, it's been immaculate. And I haven't seen AD do that. Like
turned it up. He turned like that. That's what I was saying in the
the pick and roll is no longer dangerous. Yeah, he can defend a pick and roll very well. And so it just takes away from a lot of what these teams can do offensively. I don't think Phoenix was ready for how well Rudy was able to play on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Minnesota is an extremely balanced team. I want to save a little bit of that because I know I still want to talk about Ant. But Brunson, we've discussed Brunson. I genuinely think they're definitely getting to the conference final because I do think they'll beat Indiana more than likely in 6. Might be a gentleman's sweep. That's what I heard from some people. Who knows?
Stephen A.
Juicy. But I think Knicks Celtics is gonna be a way better series than people anticipate. And I do think the Knicks are going to push them. Not that I thought they were going to walk through the conference finals anyway, whoever they played, but I think that's a series that's like, I don't know if Boston has the fight that New York does. Like Boston's talent is like that gap is what it is, right? But the fight, the way that they are, people say Tibbs got them ready to run through a wall for them, but it's true. And like the way New York is playing, I think the way they play is a style of play that I don't think it makes Boston uncomfortable, but I don't know if Boston sustains that type of play across a 7-game series. And I do think it could go, well, it's at least going 6 for sure. But I definitely feel like it could go 7. If it goes less than 6 in any way, I'd be a little surprised for sure.
No,
But
Steve, I think it makes Boston uncomfortable. I really do. I do.
yeah.
We've seen Jason Tatum uncomfortable throughout the season, and when he's uncomfortable, he takes the night off. And I think that the Knicks have a great chance of. I think they're gonna isolate JT. I think he's gonna disappear if they do indeed make him uncomfortable.
And they have you, I think so. You have OG, right? So and you can just deploy OG on whoever you want to. Throw him on
Literally.
Tatum for some minutes, throw him on JB for some minutes. Like you can do that. Porzingis being out for Boston also is a huge game changer for them, especially in that series against New York. But even outside of OG, you got Josh Hart, you got DiVincenzo, you got McBride. You have bodies to throw at these players. I'm not saying outside of OG, I'm not saying any of these players are like shutting down a Tatum or shutting down a Jaylen Brown, right? And I'm not trying to discredit Derek Wright, who's had a great season. Drew is Drew. We all know that. But the way New York is playing, the momentum they have, and how they make teams uncomfortable, I think that is going to be Boston's biggest challenge. And while I probably I would still take Boston to come out simply because I feel like they have the better talent. And if the talents,
Mm-hmm.
right, they should get over the hump. But if they were not to, I won't say that I would be surprised if New York kind of gets their number. But I just think it's gonna be a great series. So interesting. But want to shout out Kyrie. I know that's who you mentioned, Gail. Didn't know Kyrie was undefeated in closeout games. That is insane. But he's been playing ridiculous. And I think the biggest thing about Dallas is, one, we talked about it before, but their team construction is ideal right now. You have a whole bunch of lob threats surrounded by Luka and Kyrie for that matter. And you have a lot of two-way players as well that just shore up the defense. And it's not saying they're this immaculate defensive team, but they know how to get stops and they know how to turn that, into offense. But I think what's special about Kyrie is Luka's numbers were insane this series, but his efficiency was terrible, right? So when you look at Kyrie, though, he's so steady. And I think that helps Luka because now, no matter whether Luka's inefficient or not, he also knows I have a player that, like, if I'm being inefficient, if I get cold, if I'm not 100%, I have a guy who can go off whenever. Like, if that's at the beginning of the game, if that's at the end of the game, if that's the stretch in the middle of the game, like, I think that's the thing about Kai, where it's like he's one of the very few players that like genuinely can just find his flow whenever, like naturally, and he can really explode whenever, and he knows when he needs to. So definitely just want to shout out Kai because I think he is going to be the game changer for Dallas. And we talked about it. We said Dallas has the potential to get to the Western Conference Finals, and I mean, I'm not trying to discredit OKC. I still think that should be a really good series, but that's a series where I would take experience. And I mean, if Luka's not inefficient, I mean, I just don't know if Oklahoma City has enough, to combat what Dallas has been doing. But I don't know. I still ain't. I'm not counting them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, OKC, they number one seed for a reason. It's gonna be a good series. I still think Shea has arrived. So I'm not saying it's gonna be a cakewalk, but I don't know. They get to a closeout game. We know Kai undefeated. So I don't.
I agree.